All right, Kevin, let's jump into the 2021 undrafted free agent class.
Let's do it.
Keep in mind, we're one of the teams that went aggressive with undrafted free agents. Just letting you know, I heard teams like New England didn't take a single undrafted free agent. And I've seen some other teams that took one. So we really we balanced out what we didn't get in our draft with some of these undrafted free agents. So he got his bites at the apple. They just came after the season, or not after the season, after the draft. So we got some good kids here. First one we got here that on my list was Tamarion Terry, a wide receiver out of Florida State, 6'3", 207 pounds. This kid was projected in the 4th to 5th round, slid all the way out of the draft. I think he's supposed to be a solid receiver. He's nothing, they say he's middle of the road. There's not any real great attributes. Nothing that set him apart is what I read.
Yeah, and the knock on him is he does have some drop issues. We've had a few other receivers with those problems along the way too. So
absolutely.
But I like his height, 6'3", 207. I mean, he's a big kid. I like that.
Yeah. So we'll see if he can come and improve his hands and maybe get out there and give us another option. The second kid I got on my list was Jared Hocker out of Texas A&M. 6'6", 327 pounds, had a 5th round grade. Okay. He played both guard spots. He's great with the run. He struggles in pass protection. Where have we heard this joke before? Insert offensive lineman for the Seahawks here.
Yeah.
So
usually most college kids do have a problem with pass protection.
Right.
That's why they do, everybody's out of the shotgun. I mean,
he's a good sized kid though.
Good sized kid. I think he's been playing against some top colleges in the SEC. I think he's a good
undrafted free agent. I mean, I think we got something there to somewhat work with. Yeah. I mean, if we keep getting these tall linemen, Russell's going to need to get stilts.
Exactly.
I mean, 6'6", 6'8". I mean, he's not going to be able to see over anybody.
No, he'll definitely be rolling out with these guys. So,
the next guy I have on my list is Brian Mills. Yep. He had a 7th round grade, 6'2", 180 pounds. They say he is thin. He is not very muscular. He got 2 reps in the at 225. So, but he's a good athlete, great tackler. He's great against run, but he's got sloppy technique. So, of all the places he could go, sloppy technique, we can have a guy there in Pete that can handle sloppy technique and make it good.
Yeah, and they said he struggled pretty bad in the Senior Bowl as well. Everything I read, he's long and he's lanky.
Right.
And that's, we've had a few of those too.
Absolutely.
Richard Sherman comes to mind. So, yeah, it just depends. I mean, all these guys that we're going to talk about with the undrafted free agency, I mean, Seattle, if you are a competitor and you work hard, obviously you have to have talent. What a better place to be than Seattle. I mean,
absolutely.
Competition is what we preach. I mean, Pete preaches
yes. I mean, you go down the list, Puna, Doug Baldwin. I mean, I could come up with a few more off the top of my head of undrafted free agents that have not only made the team, but made a successful career in the NFL.
One of my favorite players of all times was an undrafted free agent, the guy by Max Strong.
Now he's on the broadcast. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, so he's doing something right.
All right. Next, we got a couple of running backs. We got BJ Emmons, 6 foot, 220. He's a straight line bruiser of a back, from everything that I've been reading. Kevin, you got anything on him?
No, he's a battering ram. That's what I've read.
Right.
He's just a solid north-south runner. Give him the ball and let him run into people.
If nothing else, he'll help us get through training camp and hopefully, who knows, another kid that might stick with the team. I think we're pretty loaded right now, but throwing some of these guys on the practice squad and having them further on down the line is what we're going to need as far as our running backs.
Oh yeah, agreed.
The next one is Josh Johnson, another running back, 5'9", 208.
208.
Yeah, he's supposed to be kind of a scat back type of of a player. So
Yep.
he's not going to be inside the tackles. He's going to work out kind of a Homer DJ Dallas, more of a third down back. Again, he's got an even tougher road to haul because there's a lot of competition in front of him.
And he came from a small school.
Yeah.
So competition wasn't as good. However, in my opinion, we both are going to pick somebody in our undrafted free agents that's going to make the team.
Did I hit him? Did I hit upon him?
Yeah,
this is your pick.
Yeah, 2 years ago he ran for 1,298 yards and 11 touchdowns. Last year, not so good. He had a hamstring problem all year. I think he would have been a third or fourth round draft pick if he would have been healthy, ran, 900,000 yards. He would have been a high draft pick. I think the guy's got a lot of potential. Now, that's just my thought process on the thing. I mean, I'm open to criticism. So,
well, Kevin, I don't have any criticism on that pick just yet because the simple fact is I don't know. I have my undrafted free agent gem coming up.
I know
everybody's on the edge of their seat for that.
I am.
I bet you are. The next guy we have is Cade Johnson. Kevin, you got a little bit more studying on Cade. Why don't you tell me what you think of him?
Well, he's a 5'10", 184-pound wide receiver from South Dakota State. He had 28 touchdowns in 3 seasons. I see him a lot like a guy that came out of Eastern Washington a few years ago, who's now with the Los Angeles Rams.
Are you talking a little Cooper Kupp? Are you?
I am. I think this guy. I think he's a solid catch. He's not afraid. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
All right, so Cade Johnson. Next guy I have on my list is Connor Wedington. Now, Connor, this kid here, I almost put as my surprise to make the active roster, and only for one reason only: speed. This kid is a wide receiver, kick returner. He had a 7th round grade. He's 6 foot, 178 pounds. But this kid is supposed to be able to fly like the wind. So, again, what the Seahawks, if you look at the draft, they're going for some real speed and difference makers.
Yep.
So I could see them putting him in as one name came to mind to me when I was reading everything on him. Bobby Joe Edmonds. There's a little throwback from the past. That kid, all he did was return punts and kickoffs and was electric. Maybe we have something there. Maybe we don't. I can't answer that question.
Well, and you know what? Special teams need speed, man.
That's it.
I will say one thing going back to Cade Johnson.
Okay.
Brock Heward actually said he was the best undrafted free agent signing at wide receiver. So Brock saying that this guy, Cade Johnson, is going to make the team.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there again, long, hard road to go.
Yeah.
He's got to get through the Penny Harts. He's got to get through the John Ursuas, the Freddie Swains.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, we just don't have a clue how this is going to all shake out waiting for training camp. All right. Let's move on, Kevin. The next one we got to is John Rattenberg, linebacker out of Army, 6'1", 236. He was projected 6th round pick. I think from what I read, there's just not a lot of tape on him. Kevin, did you have anything as far as
he only started 1 year at Army. And he had 78 tackles in one season. Yeah, I mean, he's got a chance to make special teams just like everybody else.
Right.
They like this guy. So.
One of the things that I saw that they could do with him, Kevin, is they could switch him to fullback.
Yeah.
So here I've been kind of screaming for some linebackers. That's where I'm getting nervous, is there's not enough linebackers on this team. Yeah, I'd like to see that the linebacker position maybe addressed a little bit, KJ. I thought subliminal mind trick right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so John Rattenberg, linebacker. All right, the next kid we got is Jake Curhan. Okay, 6'6", 330 pounds. Yeah, big kid, big kid. I didn't read. He's another guard possibility. So they're really stacking up on some big kids to try and bring that competition on our offensive line.
Well, they said that he's not as athletic as Stone, but he was a 4-year starter for California. Honorable mention, all Pac-12 honors twice in his 4 years. He's played against some pretty good competition, and
exactly. There we go. The next guy we got that next kid we got out of Mississippi State is Greg Eiland. And this guy looks like an island. 6'8", 335 pounds. The problem, I guess, with him is he's slow. And I mean slow as in not being able to be very fast on the field. He's not able to get out and stunt. He's not able to recognize any type of blitzes very well. He is as raw can get. But the one thing you can't teach, Kevin, is size. You can't teach 6'8".
No,
you can't teach 355 or 335 pounds.
Yeah, that's what they keep talking about, is just raw talent.
Raw. He is as raw as the honey I have in my cupboard.
Yeah.
Raw.
Raw. Yeah.
So, I heard a lot about him. Now I'm going to get to my gem, Kevin, the guy I'm excited about. And I had read up on this kid a little bit because, I was just like, Canada? What? Why are we up in Canada? So we got Pierre-Olivier Lestage. And this kid is from Montreal. He is ranked 7th in the Canadian Football League draft. Means that this kid is supposed to go 7th overall in their draft. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I don't know why we wouldn't go after number 1, but we went after number 7. This kid is 6'3", 305 pounds. I looked through probably 6 or 7 different articles on this kid. In every article, there was one statement he made sure to make in every article. And it wasn't "Go Hawks." It was, "I hate to lose." This kid they're supposed to bring in, he is supposed to challenge for the center position.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've read about him is that he has a little bit of a mean streak. And I'm all for that.
Yeah, there's a defensive tackle in Los Angeles that I would love to have somebody with a little bit of a mean streak to go up against Aaron Donald.
Yes.
Yeah. I am excited about Pierre-Olivier. I don't know if I'm even saying it right as far as Lestage or who knows. Yeah. But this kid, I think, is going to have a chance to come in here. And if any one of these draft picks in the starting roster this year, that kid right there, I think has a chance to come out of nowhere and challenge Posick and challenge Fuller and be a center that we have that is going to be able to take us into the future of our offensive line.
Well, Dave, I have no arguments with you. I absolutely love this guy, and the only reason I didn't take him for this list myself is because I knew you already were doing it. So
I called you. I said, "That's him. That's my guy."
And so that's why I went with Josh Johnson, the running back out of Louisiana Monroe. But this guy, everything I read is A+. We talked about somebody else last year, a guy named Damian Lewis that was drafted, who plays guard.
I honestly think, Posick did admirably for him coming in for his first year in the center position. And if he continues to get better, this kid may not even get a chance to get on the field.
Right.
But if he struggles and this kid balls out like I think he can, I honestly think we may have found a diamond in the rough here.
Agreed.
I'm excited about that. We also got, I should have one last one, was Jared Hewitt, defensive tackle out of, where is he out of, Kevin? Virginia Tech. He is, for a defensive tackle, he is 290 pounds. Not very big fella.
Although he did produce 9.5 sacks his last 2 years in college. So he's an athlete.
Right.
There was somebody else that came out of Virginia Tech, a guy named Cam. I mean, it was a little bit of a baller. So,
who knows? I couldn't even begin to tell you why we brought this kid in, but they have a reason. If you just looked at the size and what he has to offer us, then probably didn't turn my needle at all. But we might end up by the end of training camp going, "Holy crap, where did this kid come from?"
He shows some pass rushing chops at the 3-tech position. So,
I mean, all you have to beat out is LJ Collier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to be that difficult to do. I mean, he hasn't really solidified that spot. I think that if anybody came in and was able to show better pass rush ability, I think LJ Collier would be down the road. Even though we did spend a first round draft pick, they have no fear in saying, "Okay, we're going to move on," even though we have a high round draft pick on you.
The one thing I will say about all these undrafted free agents is that open competition, and
Right.
the best man's going to win.
Absolutely. We can go back a couple of years and look at Puna.
Yeah.
Puna came out of nowhere. He was short. He was not supposed to make the team. Not only did he make the team, but he is a starter, and he is now the anchor of the defensive line. We have built our interior defensive line around Puna Ford, another undrafted free agent that all he did is ball out.
Yeah, we could go back to a guy named Russell Wilson too. I mean, there were quarterbacks on the roster, and they just paid Matt Flynn a lot of money. And you and I give each other bad time about that whole situation because you were such a diehard Russell fan, and I was trying to get your goat. If you're good, you're going to play.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing I love about Pete and John is it's all about the competition, and it's nobody's guaranteed nothing.
Right. So this kind of wraps up the undrafted.
Wait a minute. Oh,
did I forget somebody?
Yeah, we forgot the NFL.
Did I forget some sauerkraut? Did I?
You did. You forgot the NFL's International Player Pathway Program pick,
Right.
A guy named Aaron Donkor. Basically came out of
Well, Donkor Shane, Kevin.
Yeah, Donkor. Came out of Germany. He was basketball background. He did play for New Mexico Military Institute for a couple seasons, recording 32 tackles, 12.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery in 12 games. He also, in 2019, he played 1 season at Arkansas State, recorded 25 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss in 6 games. This guy is a player.
I'm not exactly jumping for joy, Kevin.
Well,
but it's competition.
There's a guy named BBK that came out of the University of Washington that had the most tackles in college football. And like we talked about the other day, he got drafted, which kind of shocked me a little bit. But for an undrafted free agent, let's pick this guy up, see what he's got, let him compete.
All right, Kevin. Well, I appreciate we just wrapped it up. We wrapped up the undrafted free agents. Hopefully, we're going to get some production out of this class. If nothing else, we get them to challenge the starters and make them better. But I would hope we get something out of them. That's what Pete and John do, is they bring these guys in and we find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I actually believe that we're probably going to see 1 to 3 of these guys possibly make the roster this year.
All right, Kevin. Well, that wraps up the undrafted free agents. You have a great day. All right.
You got it. Peace.
All right. Peace.